It's Frida time. What time? Frida time. What time? Frida time. Woo! This is our summer season, and we have a limited edition. It's our Art Lives collection. We haven't put one out since the beginning, since we started a year ago. So we have one of my favorites, Frida Kahlo. She has been such an inspiration to me as an artist. I'm really excited to put her on some products. This was a commission piece from my friend Rachel because we share a love of Frida. So she commissioned me to paint Frida's self-portrait in a red velvet dress. This is a reproduction of a painting of that specific painting. I haven't reproduced very many paintings. I've done a Van Gogh and I can't even think of another one. This one though, to me, it felt like a meditation because I was looking off of a reference and I had to look so closely. It's an old picture. It was a painting that was painted in 1926, I think, because she was 19. So, you know, the photo that I had of it was from a book, and so it wasn't like the clearest reference, but what that meant was I had to get very intimate with the piece. I had to spend a lot of time looking very, very close at details. And I thought maybe we should talk about her story. It's an intense one, so I'm not going to go into all the details, but what you should know is that when Frida was 18 years old, she was in a horrible accident. She had multiple fractures, bones that were broken. It's also kind of important to know that she was also physically different. Before the accident, she had polio as a child, and so one of her legs was visibly smaller and shorter than the other leg. So she did walk with like a slight limp. She was a tiny lady. So she would fashion boots that would have a heel on them, and she would wear very, very long dresses. If you see her in photos or even the paintings of her, if you see her full body, often you don't see her feet. That was intentional because she wanted to hide her braces and whatnot that was going on underneath her dress. Frida had a lot of pain throughout her life. How that pertains to this particular painting is this painting she painted when she was 19 years old, so about a year after her accident. If you look at it, she looks kind of like a European princess or something. She's very elongated. You might notice like her elongated neck, her elongated fingers. She looks beautiful, and there's not really a hint of someone who's been in an accident within that year. So the backstory to why she went out of her way to make herself look very extra beautiful is she had been dating a guy before the accident, and his name was or is Alejandro. Alejandro was already not quite liking how assertive Frida was in the political arena. He didn't like how, he just thought she was like a little too vocal and a little too political. Then she got in the accident, and some people speculate that maybe he thought, well, maybe there's no future. Maybe I'm gonna have to take care of this girl. Like now she has all these like physical ailments. So he just kind of like lost interest. So Frida was sitting in bed a lot. She had broken her spinal column in 3 places. She had broken her shoulders, her pelvis, one of her legs. I mean, she was really in bad shape. So she writes him a letter from the bed saying like, it's so beautiful to be able to miss you. She does kind of say, I'm kind of sick all the time. She refers to this painting that she's making for him as a Botticelli. That was a painter Alejandro was into. So Frida was trying to do all of her tricks and pull out what she could to make herself look beautiful and kind of look like a Venus, really, like a goddess. I got to go to Frida's house a couple of years ago and see the original, not the original painting, but the photograph that the painting was based off of. And it's a tiny little tin painting that Frida painted on top of. And in my painting, you can see that there's like some subtle swirls in the background, but in the original, these swirls were much more blue, and they really did have that Venus element. So it was really cool to get to see it in person, and I never realized that it was like based off of this tiny little photograph of of Frida. She paints the painting and she calls it his Botticelli, and she writes him a letter and she specifically instructs him, hang the painting low. Like, hang the painting low so that when you look at the painting, it's as if you're looking into my eyes, like you're looking at me. The story goes that he did love the painting and it did woo him back, and so they got together for like a short while longer, but then mostly the political things he just couldn't handle. That's the story of how she tried to woo Alejandro when she was only 19 years old, and supposedly this painting, which I think she just titled it Self-Portrait in a Red Velvet Dress, they say it's possibly her first self-portrait, and she is known for her portraits and self-portraits. Frida talks about why she painted herself all the time. She talks about how when she's sitting in a bed for days, months, years at a time, she only has a mirror that she can lay down. Her spinal cord is broken. So she's laying on a bed and she's got a bed easel and she will have a mirror propped up. She was literally her only subject. She was not afraid to explore dark subject matter or her dark stories in art. You also have to think that Frida was born in 1907. So if you think about what art was back then, most portraits you would see look very stiff. People weren't really painting their personal lives. It just kind of wasn't a thing. They were really trying to make themselves even look better than they looked in real life. The idea was not to show the messy dirtiness of real life. Frida switched that up. She paved the way for us all of us who consider ourselves expressionistic, figurative painters. That's what I am, because she most often was just painting from her heart. So coincidentally, the word that we're focused on this season is heart and visionary. Frida is both of those things. She's all heart, continues to be a visionary. She is an example of what it means to turn your pain into your purpose. And for those reasons, she is a hero to me. So thank you for listening to my lengthy tribute to Frida Kahlo. We were supposed to keep this one very short, but I could go on and on because she has been such a huge impact to me personally, and I know to so many people. I mean, I see her on everything, as it should be. She's a queen. I really hope that you like this limited edition. We do believe that some stories deserve to be told and retold over and over and over, and Frida Kahlo is one of those people and one of those stories. If you're not familiar with her, besides just her face and the eyebrow, maybe look her up, look at some of her work, and just see how much heart and how much passion she put into expressing herself. Thanks everyone. I hope you enjoy the season. Happy art wearing. Ciao for now.